Okay, so the real estate market that didn't really have a winter slowdown, as predicted if you've been watching the channel, is absolutely going like a freaking freight train. And it is absolutely crazy what is starting to happen already. It's like midsummer just, starting in January, for heaven's sakes. But we're going to go over that, and we're going to go over some of the mortgage trends, and then, of course, just cover briefly on second homes. Now, here's the thing. Understand that when we talk about trends, we're only talking about the trends here in the Puget Sound area. So Seattle, the east side, Snohomish, South King, Pierce County, and then, of course, the rest of the areas, we fill in on different videos. So if you're in a different area than what we are in, which is our predominant area, reach out to us, let us know, and we'll send you that specific video. But this one's King, Pierce, and Snohomish County, which is going to be, again, a big enough topic in and of itself. So let's talk a little bit about what's been going on. And before we do that, I'm going to give you guys, again, a little bit of perspective. Perspective is important so that you understand, okay, why are things happening the way they are? Why are some people saying some crazy things that you might see on the internet and whatnot? And what relevance do they really have to us? Because that is going to be super important so that you understand, hey, I need to subscribe. I need to listen to this guy every single week because he's talking about our area. He's not talking about some other area. He's talking about our area, which is what is relevant. All right. Now, so first of all, as of today, 2022, which is January 22nd, we have 3,129 homes available for sale. Okay. Now, that is, that will be all homes. Okay. I don't do condos, but it's all homes. And that is from the Canadian border all the way down to the Tri-Cities, parts of Eastern Washington, like Wenatchee, Chelan, and whatnot. And then Kitsap County over on the peninsula and things like that. So it's a massive area. Massive. I mean, it's half the state, for heaven's sakes. Probably actually a little more than half the state. So over half of the state, there are 3,129 homes. Now, last year, which again was a record setter, like 2020, okay, we had 3,534 homes, right? Or roughly about, let's call 430 homes, 400 homes more last year than what we had right now. Okay, well, that's not that big of a deal, right? Well, it is when we talk about tiny numbers, because just in 2019, we had a little over 10,000 homes available for the buyers to work with. So we have 1/3 of the inventory, which is insane, because even this number is low. Because if I go back to 2000, let's say 15, 14, 13, we had like 18,000 homes, 22,000 homes. We have 3,129. That's a very small number, all things considered. Now, the funny thing is, we have a massive pent up, maybe it's bent, who knows? Anyway, pent up buyer demand. So our buyer demand is out there. We also have interest rates, which are going a little on the loopy side. So we have those folks that are also, like, oh my gosh, I got to jump in before the rates go up, and which they will go up. And we'll talk about that later. So when we talk about it's down 11.5%, which sounds like that's a big number, it's not. It's tiny. As you can see, it's only about 300 homes. That's a small amount, right? Or 400 homes. So new on market is down 10.6%. Okay, well, that's a really tiny number too. It's only a few hundred homes. Here, the pendant are down 9.4%. Well, of course, because new on market is also down. The two follow each other. It's like one train. If we go back to our train analogy, they're connected. And as the inventory goes up, so do the pendings, and they will follow each other. Why? Well, because there's so few homes, it's gonna happen. Because when we come down, we say, oh my gosh, sales are off 13%. Somebody would say, oh my gosh, that's amazing. Look, the sky is falling. It's not. It's 330 homes. It's because we have a tiny little number. We don't have our bigger numbers, and this is the smallest of the bigger numbers. Almost like a jumbo shrimp, I guess, an oxymoron there. But anyway, we have 1/3 the inventory what we should. Actually, we have about 25%, maybe 20% of the inventory we should normally have. We should have gobs more homes. So for the sellers out there, hey, get on the stick. You got plenty of buyers out there. And in fact, we've had a number of homes and clients that went active during the December and even up to this January, mid-January-ish. They all did amazingly well. And you will too. So if you are a seller and you're on the fence, hey, you need to step over to the other side, because you definitely have buyers out there in the market that are looking for homes. All right. Now, let's take it on to the next one. We talk about mortgage rates versus the running 7-day average. I thought that I was going to see a few more pended sales than we did over the average of the last 7 days. But actually, it stayed pretty consistent. So we had 855 new homes coming on market, thankfully, because otherwise, this number would have been even worse, right? We had 1,174 homes that went pending, and then, of course, 660 of them closed. And we're going to see that closed. Remember, that happened last month. So we're always running kind of a 30-day lag, if you want to call it, as far as from pending to sold. So we're always looking in the rearview mirror on that one. Whereas new on market and pending, that's dynamic. That's happening right now. Okay, so when we come over here and we take a look at our mortgage rates, okay, so mortgage rates did what we call a small correction. They started coming back down just a tad bit. Owner-occupied, par pricing. Remember, the par pricing that's what no points, it's no cost. It's just the it's just the, hey, standard loan. And then as you are willing to get a better rate, or what some mortgage lenders market, saying, hey, you can get 3.25 for us, and you look at that and go, hey, that's a half a point. That's a 0.5%. That's awesome. I'm going to go over there. And then you find out, oh, well, you can only have a maximum, I love this, you can only have a maximum of $650,000 loan, has to be minimum 25% down to 30% down minimum, have to have a credit score of above 740, okay, and it has to be new purchase, can't be a refinance, right? Okay, well, that's a given. All right, well, holy smokes, that's a more down payment than the average person puts down. That's a loan balance that is below what the average person is normally involved in, but it is a teaser. It is a way to get you to contact them. It's called marketing. And obviously it works, because we had a couple of clients that actually inquired about it, and I went and I looked at it and I started to laugh, and I'm like, okay, wait. Okay, I want you to do me a favor. I want you to watch a 10-minute video on 5 questions you need to ask when getting quoted rate. So I want you to watch that, and then I want you to go look at their website. Here's their link. And both of them responded back in about a half an hour saying, okay, we get it. It's going to cost us $8,000 to get that rate. And I said, yes. And the payment, the difference between that payment and par pricing, that cost to pay down that rate was like 4.3 years. Okay. And so that wasn't as inviting, because after 4 years and a few months, they would break even. Well, if you're going to stay in that home forever and ever, I guess that's okay. But if their intent is only to stay in that home for 7 years, that didn't make any sense, especially when you consider the value of the dollar today versus what it'll be in 7 years. All right. So par pricing for non-owner occupied, 4.35%. It is also coming back down. There is a buy down option there. Now, what's super important, again, we're letting everybody know there's a lot of folks that are buying second homes, whether in this area or in other areas. Okay, understand, if you're going to buy a second home, you need to do it before March 19th, because after March 19th, Freddie Mac and Fannie Mae, they are changing the guidelines. Why? Because there's a lot of folks out there buying second homes or making them these VRBOs or Airbnbs, and You only have to stay in them a week, and they're able to cash flow. And we had a couple of clients that said, George, why would they change that? I mean, they're making money on it. We're making money on it, and we're getting, we're keeping the economy moving and everything else. And I said, it's really super simple. Okay, it's based on risk. It's like your interest rate. It's based on risk. If you have two options, let's say your financial situation changes for one reason or another. Okay, are you going to make your house payment that you live in, or are you going to make the second home payment that you're living in? If you can only make one of them, which one are you going to make? Well, I'm pretty sure it's going to be the house, right? The one that you currently have a roof over your head. And this one gets kicked out. And what that does is it makes that portfolio for the mortgage-backed securities, it makes it too volatile. And so they need to taper that off. And they do, like what we mentioned last year, they call them an overlay. And they add these overlays as protection. And it just ensures that the people who are coming in and doing this, that they are basically going to be more real, and two, more qualified, and three, the lenders themselves, Fannie and Freddie, when they package these up as mortgage-backed securities, there's going to be less default opportunity. So it is based on risk, and that's why they're making that change. So all things considered, our market is absolutely screaming. We are still seeing multiple offers. In fact, it's funny, I was having a conversation with one of our team members, and he's like, wow, so this is crazy. It's like we never even slowed down. And I'm like, well, that's true. We had a little bit of a standard seasonal slowdown, but part of that's just because we just didn't have enough inventory. It's funny. It's like fueling a fire with gasoline. You add a little bit of fuel to it, it goes, you take the fuel away and it dies back down again. And when we take a look at these numbers, if we added an influx of homes to the market, it would blow up again. And then, of course, as soon as that inventory was depleted, it'd come back down because we have a massive pent-up demand of buyers out there still. Okay. Anyway, if you have any questions, hey, ask. Remember to subscribe. And it just tells us that you like what you're hearing, keeps you abreast of what's going on. Hit the little bell so you get notified of our videos. And then also share the link. Share it and let us know that, if you know if somebody's looking at wanting to buy or sell, because it's free. It's absolutely free. More importantly, you should be asking questions. If you have questions, post them and we will answer them. There's no cost, and normally we get back to you within about 30 minutes. All right, so we also had a question about the smoke. So I've been saying, hey, change your filters. Don't make your filter breathing on a straw like doing a marathon. If that makes sense, running, put a straw in your mouth and breathe. That's very difficult. That is what happens when you do not change your filters. Super simple. Jim Triple is going to do a video. He swears he's going to do a video with me. I think he's camera shy. But anyway, so we'll get him doing a video. And then I had also mentioned that I said, hey, for those folks that pulled out the 9-volt battery to power up the toys for, Christmas and whatnot, put your 9-volt battery back in again. Somebody said, well, hey, you mentioned that smoke detectors don't last forever. No, they don't. And they're typically good for about 10 years. Okay, well, if your home is older, if you're in a newer home and your home is older than 10 years old, okay, or, this is the classic, if they look kind of yellow, replace them. They're super simple to replace, especially if they're battery operated, brainless, okay? If they are hardwired, most people go, oh my gosh, electricity. No, super simple. Oh my gosh. I showed a client how to do it. It was done. Even showing him, it took me 7 minutes to swap it out. And then when he did one on his own, it took him 5 minutes. Super simple. 3 wire nuts, a couple screws, you're golden. That's it. All right. If you have any questions or if you need, we can also do a video and show you guys how to do that. You just have to request the video and I'll go out and do a video for you. It's super simple. I'll find one of my clients' houses that I know needs to have their smokes replaced, and I go out and I'll buy him some smokes and put it in. So anyway, there you go. If you have any questions, reach out. Have an absolutely beautiful day. It is, well, it's cloudy today, but it's going to be nice. It's supposed to burn off and be absolutely stunning. Have a fabulous weekend, and I will catch you later. Take care.